Good morning and thanks for joining us. We begin with major breaking news this morning. Israeli officials say the supreme leader of Iran has been killed hours after the US and Israel joined forces in a joint attack to topple the country's regime.
Now, Tehran has responded, launching airstrikes on multiple cities. Let's bring in our team first to Chief Reporter Chris Reason, who's in Tel Aviv. Now, Reason, we just saw some vision in the last couple of minutes. The city there has been hit.
Yeah, good morning to you guys. Correct, Mon. In the last 15 minutes, a massive missile managed to break through Israel's defensive systems here in the capital, Tel Aviv, exploding on the horizon behind us. We don't know what the scene is there on the ground. It's not usual, not normal to see a missile break through the Iron Dome system, but all day we have seen the Iranians pummeling Israel, particularly northern Israel, with their ballistic missiles, and the air defense systems aren't 100% perfect. Sometimes they do get through. That extraordinary shot there from our cameraman, Jimmy Cannon. Now, we're entering the 13th hour of conflict here, of Operation Epic Fury, this combined operation between the Israelis and the Americans. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, just held a press conference saying that they've so far hit 500 targets across Iran. We're talking military, nuclear, the courts, the parliament, and also, significantly, the personal home and compound of the Supreme Leader himself, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Now, on that, reports from respected news organisations, first of all Reuters, next NBC, saying that Khamenei, 86-year-old Supreme Leader, Shia cleric, leader of Iran, has been killed in one of these surgical airstrikes by the Allied operators on this. There's even talk, one of the Israeli TV stations saying that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has seen video of his body. Now, this is an extraordinary development and has massive implications for millions of people in this region. They will be rejoicing and celebrating. This guy was a dictator, a ruthless tyrant who has overseen thousands of deaths, as we've seen in the protests at the beginning of this year. But it will also cause extreme fury and anger on hardline radicals, especially within Iran. Stand by for terrorism response to what has happened in these last couple of hours. Now, on top of all of that, Iran had promised to hit back. It has hit back, and hard. We've seen not just normal military bases as targets, but civilian targets as well. And not just in the normal places like here in Iran, but across the Middle East. 6 countries so far hit by their missiles. I'll list them off: Kuwait, Qatar, Jordan, the UAE, Bahrain, and, as I say, here in Israel as well. Those attacks are continuing. Iran seems to be throwing absolutely everything at this, and it's throwing it in every single direction. It is the desperate last throes of this regime as we talk about decapitation strikes. And as I say, tonight we have almost confirmation that the Ayatollah has been assassinated.
Huge breaking news there, Chris Reason, with the potential there to reshape that region. We'll come back to you shortly. Now, though, to Rob Scott in Washington, D.C. Rob, what does the White House have to say?
Well, David, Donald Trump himself was the one who actually informed the American people that he had authorised these strikes. He recorded a brief statement from his private club in Mar-a-Lago, releasing it on social media really early this morning when most Americans were asleep, outlining the broad goals of what is undoubtedly his biggest foreign policy gamble to date. Actually, these pictures you can see on your screen right now are the first pictures released by the White House not that long ago, showing him in Mar-a-Lago monitoring these strikes which he authorised. He said he had 3 main goals when he flicked the switch on this. He wanted to stop Iran from ever getting a nuclear weapon, to crush its military, and to bring about regime change. And unlike that one and done campaign that we saw last June when the US bombed Iran's nuclear facilities, experts say that this is likely to be a much longer, more protracted campaign, the biggest US military campaign since the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. And right now, you can probably hear the commotion behind me. There have been big protests through the streets of Washington, D.C. today. Many Americans upset that Donald Trump has sent American troops into harm's way, particularly after he campaigned on ending these forever wars. But the president is adamant that Tehran posed an imminent risk, and he had to act.
Lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere.
So Donald Trump continues to monitor the unfolding events in the Middle East from his club, Mar-a-Lago in Florida. He has also admitted that it is very likely US troops could die in this conflict. Guys.
Yes, he made a point of that, didn't he, Rob? OK, let's go to political editor Mark Riley, who is in Canberra now. Riles, we understand that the US has Australia's backing.
It does, Mon. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says Australia does support the US operations to ensure Iran doesn't get its hands on nuclear weapons and to support the Iranian people in their struggle against oppression. The Prime Minister has called an emergency meeting of the National Security Committee of Cabinet to begin here in the next half an hour. That meeting will get an update on the operations and the latest intelligence about the claimed death of Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, as Rizzo just reported, and his senior government executive team. Here's Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke speaking on Weekend Sunrise to us a little earlier on.
We want the Iranian people to be able to have charge of their government again. In the last few months, we've seen the Iranian people start to rise up, only to be brutally slaughtered by this regime. Thousands of their own citizens killed by this regime.
Now, the government's warning Australians in the region to leave if they can, and for those planning on going there to delay those plans for the time being. If you can get out, Tony Burke says get out. Australia expelled Iran's ambassador from here in Canberra last year over the Revolutionary Guard's involvement in at least 2 anti-Semitic attacks in Australia, and the government admits that with our embassy now in Tehran closed, it has limited ability to provide consular services to Australians within Iran. Tony Burke told Weekend Sunrise the threat level here in Australia remains at probable, which is high, but that ASIO is constantly assessing that setting. He wasn't prepared, though, to disclose the level of notice that Australia was given by the US or Israel before this operation began, or interestingly, whether Australia supports regime change as an objective in Iran. We also don't know whether there's been any request or any requests expected for Australian involvement. There should be some more clarity on all those issues when Foreign Minister Penny Wong addresses the media in Adelaide in the next hour or so, and that emergency National Security Committee meeting of Cabinet concludes later this morning, guys.
Yeah, thank you to our team of reporters, and we'll bring you details of Penny Wong's address later this morning.